I would have made so much money so much quicker if I would have followed these 5 tips. Hey guys, what is up? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess shop, and today's video we're going to be going over 5 mistakes that I think every reseller makes. We're going to break them down, how I think you can fix them and keep making more money. Let's just jump into tip number 1. Now I know it's going to sound funny that I'm saying this because this is something I literally do all the time, is not listening to what everyone else tells you to sell. I'm always putting out what sold videos. I'm telling you guys what's selling for me. I feel like this is very specific depending on where you live, what type of sourcing you have available to you, what is your budget that you can spend on sourcing, and what is your ideal profit range. What I really advocate for in this tip is that you do your own research, that you find out what brands are selling and what brands that you can find locally in your thrift store. This may vary from location to location, city to city, different sides of the country, different lifestyles, like so many factors fall into it. Also, what sells for one person doesn't always sell for another person. Just because I say this brand sells for me really well, it doesn't mean that that brand is selling for you. This does break down into knowing your demographic and who is actually shopping in your closet and what types of items are you sourcing. I firmly believe in having kind of like a semi-curated closet. This means just knowing who I'm shopping for when I'm outsourcing. I don't just grab something because I know it will sell. If it's not a brand or a style that I think my shopper is looking for, I'm probably gonna leave it at the thrift store. I don't think brands are always the be-all end-all. Sometimes looking at like trends and styles can really help when you're outsourcing. Knowing again what's in season, what's trending for colors. Lots of people are moving past brands now. They're okay not getting a brand of something. They just want a good quality item in that trend or style. This just all plays into, I need to repeat this, do not buy everything that you hear someone on social media tell you to buy. And then this kind of leads into tip number 2. Don't buy something just because it's a certain brand. Do you know what is trending in that brand? Do you know what is current and what is old? Something that was selling, 6 years ago in a certain brand doesn't mean that it's going to sell today. So a really good example, something that I see a lot of is Aritzia brand Community. So Community is an older brand. I don't think Aritzia actually sells any of their clothing anymore. It was a very popular brand like 5-6 years ago. These sweaters and like cape style cardigans that they used to sell, they just don't hold value. So even though it is a Aritzia sub brand, it's an older brand and I no longer grab that. This would be a really good example where brand is just not enough. There's a couple of points that I look at when I'm doing brands or when I'm looking at a certain brand of clothing. Number 1, is it on trend? Number 2, what is the market demand on this? And this I'll look into solds and see what's currently been selling. What is it selling for? I'll also look at material content. Obviously, I want the best quality that brand sells. And then like colors and styles. Those are all factors that I look at. If something isn't meeting some of those points, I'm probably not going to grab it because to me, that is not a safe investment. That is going to be a risky buy. I may sit on it for a while and I may not get what I think I'm going to get for it. The biggest thing that you can take away from these first 2 points is sourcing with intention, doing your research, making smart decisions. I don't buy things and say, I think this might sell. When I buy things, I'm like, yes, this is on trend. This is current. This is a material content people are looking for, and it meets all of this criteria. That is why I'm grabbing it. Tip number 3, this one kills me every time. I see these types of photos on Poshmark all the time, eBay. I'm sure you guys see them on Mercari, Tradesy, everywhere. It's not prepping your items. I'm going to say this once. You need to prep your items, and prepping may mean washing, stain removing, lint rolling. Like so many times they'll have just kind of like lint all over them. Sweater shaving, if something has pilling, I definitely am sweater shaving. Ideally like around the armpit area, that's where I see the most. And then sometimes down at the waist where their wrists maybe are rubbing on the sweater. Obviously giving them a good steam so there's no wrinkles, they look really nice. Items that showcase well, sell well. Think of it this way. If you have two pictures and you have this like dingy, thrown on the floor, wrinkled up item, and then you have this item nicely steamed, prepped, hanging, looking good, which item are you willing to spend a little bit more on? Yes, this item is cheaper, but it actually doesn't look that great. 9 out of 10 times, I find people are choosing the better quality piece. They have trust in this item. They see how it looks, right? Like there's no guessing. If you change one thing in your business today, it is prep your items. Number 4 on this list is having a solid inventory system. Guys, if you do not have an inventory system, I don't care how big your shop is, this will save you time, this will save you errors, therefore saving you money. I have a video, I'm gonna pop it up here. This is an older one that I put out about my inventory system. It's a very simple system. You do not need expensive supplies for this. You can use like old boxes and Ziploc bags. Really, you could just use old boxes and number them and just have items put away in there. I highly recommend that you have an inventory system, and I think this is good to implement even if you only have like 25 to 50 items. If you find you're storing items in multiple areas of your house and like this closet and on this shelf and over here, you probably should have it all in one area. And if you can just have like 2 or 3 boxes or 2 or 3 totes, have everything kind of organized and using a basic inventory system, I think this will change the game. And then as you grow and your business grows, this also gives you the building steps to grow with it. This was something that I implemented very early on. I think it has had a huge impact just even on time saved as my business has grown. Number 5 is like one of those things that I think we all struggle with, and it is getting lowball offers. Like, what do you do? You're frustrated. I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys, I have received so many lowball offers in the last 24 hours. It is unreal. I have never received this many, like ever. They're like below 50% off. I just can't believe some of the offers I've been receiving. Here is how I handle them. Instead of jumping in right away and hitting decline, I usually will counter back. There's 2 ways that you can do this. You can counter back right away, or a tip that I've heard in the comments is letting the offer simmer. Let it sit for like 6-12 hours in case there's any other likes on the items. What this does is sends a notification to all likers, letting them know that there is an offer. If someone else really wants this item, it may trigger them to send an offer to you, and this could work in your benefit. Usually after like 6 to 12 hours, I'm gonna send an offer back to them. If they counter back to me and it's only like $1 or $2 more at this point, I will re-counter my last offer, and it usually will be the lowest I'm willing to go. Any other offers coming back at me that don't meet my profit margin, I'm just gonna decline. But I think the hardest part in this situation is removing that emotion. I feel you. I'm offended. I'm upset. I'm like, what? Who are you? How do you think this is right? We have to take that emotion out of it, and we just have to look at it from a business standpoint. What is your bottom dollar? What would you be happy getting? If you decline this offer and you sit on the item for another 3 months, would you regret not accepting that? It's good to know what your bottom dollar is on your items. If you get an offer that, you know, is around there, I would take it. As long as you're making money on the item, you're not sitting on it. Now, there are instances where you're like, absolutely not, this item is worth way more, and that is up to you. You can decline, but do not decline off the bat as much as you want to. At least counter back with a reasonable offer. All right, guys, these are my 5 tips. These are mistakes that every new reseller makes. If I would have done these things right from the beginning, I would have saved myself heartache, time, and money lost. If you have any questions, drop them down below. If you think there's a big mistake that new resellers are making, drop it down below. What is the mistake and how do you fix it? Let's share and grow together. I hope this helps you in your reselling business. If you are new, make sure you tap subscribe on your way out, and thank you for watching. I am wishing you all many sales, and I'll see you next time. Bye.